Good afternoon, and welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to our Direwolf 20 1.10 modded Minecraft Let's Play series. So, of course, today we are going to be working on a Wither auto spawner and auto killer, and I was actually debating how I wanted to set this up and make it, kind of fit into our build, because ideally I'd really like to have the system set up, maybe down here where, where our other spawners are, but still actually fit into, something like this and make it work and everything. So, what I came up with, let's go ahead and get into setting this thing up and working on it. Now, first up, we are going to have to automate soul sand, because right now I have 59 soul sand. That's not going to last very long at all. But if you take a look here at soul sand, there's a couple different ways, of course, that we could make this. I mean, we could go into Botania and, always keep so much on hand and use soul sand to double it using mana. Or we could set up, some kind of miner in the nether, or all different kinds of stuff like that. But the easiest way is actually additions with the atomic reconstructor. So that's what we're going to do. Let's grab ourselves, let me see here. I mean, we've got, like over here, we've got this set up, where we make the crystal blocks and different things. But we're actually going to just attach a new setup here to our cobble gem. Because, of course, or our cobbleworks, because, of course, with our cobbleworks, we produce sand. Sand's not an issue. So why not go ahead and step that up and auto-produce soul sand as well? So we've actually got an atomic reconstructor right here. And then we're also going to want to get ourselves a pressure plate, just like we did in the past, and a vacuum chest. And then let's go ahead and get a drawer. Oh, we actually already have a drawer for soul sand. So we don't actually need the drawer. My bad. I totally forgot that we had that. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop on down here. Let's see, where are we creating sand? So what I'm thinking that we're going to do is we can actually put our pressure plate directly onto, this right here. So we'll just set that right there. And then, because we're going to try to make this fit into this small area here. And then we're going to put our atomic reconstructor right there. And then let's go ahead and just run some power over. I mean, this is a pretty simple build. And let's also go ahead and get ourselves a item filter. And then we'll get just a bit of sand here. We've got 48,000 sand. And then I actually also want a automatic precision dropper as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and actually use this to build with. And we'll set that right there. Let's grab our... let's also say redstone mode is pulse. How is this getting power? Oh, okay, it must have gotten power from the wireless charger. No, actually, I think it already had power built up. But we'll go ahead and give this just a little bit of power. And then I want to set up our vacuum chest right here. That's fine. I don't really need to open that. We'll drop the range on this to, say, 1. So it just covers this small area here. That's fine. We'll throw a filter into this and say that you can only pick up soul sand. And then I'm also, actually I'm going to want 2 filters, aren't I? And then we'll set up our automatic precision dropper. We're going to leave it on redstone mode deactivation, so if there's, stuff on the wooden pressure plate, it's not going to drop anything. But we only want the atomic reconstructor to activate when and there's something on there. So, that's about it. So, let's see. Let's plug up our item conduit. Here, we're going to say that you can insert with a filter, but only sand. What all crap has it gotten? Okay. Alright. And so now if we were to throw some sand in there, there we go. It's creating soul sand for us. Awesome. And so then all we have to do, of course, is set this to pull out, extract, and now it'll be going into the system. Now let me go ahead and get a sound muffler, because that's going to drive us insane, isn't it? Because we can hear it in parts of this room. So there we go, sound muffler. Let me throw this stuff back into the system here. And I actually don't need... Actually, I'm going to keep the redstone torch, because we're going to need it shortly, but we'll just put our sound muffler like right there. Good stuff. So now we should have soul sand coming in. I mean, it's not... Well, we're already up to 98. Of course, I did throw a bunch of sand in there. And I tell you what, I'm actually going to just grab, to help us kind of jumpstart our soul sand setup, I'm just going to grab a bit of sand and throw it in the... Because right now, of course, this is set to round robin whenever it makes sand, you know, to fill in all the different places, you know, because we're making so many different things with sand. So, at least jump-starting it would definitely help. Now, I will say that Wither Skeleton Skulls we're fine on now, because we're at 329. I'd actually left this running a little bit just to build it up. It wasn't for a super amount of time, but... and so now we actually get to the wither aspect of the build. So, first up, what I'm going to want is, let's go ahead and just grab a well from Pam's Harvest Craft. You could also use, I think we'll just get the well. There's no pitcher plants. So basically just a water source that we can pack around, you know, to use with our bucket, because it's easier than making like a 2x2 and having to mess with all of that. So I'm actually going to go ahead and set up redstonia crystal blocks in this, because we're out of them, and having them automated would be kind of nice. I need to actually finish automating, because we need the lapis ones as well. I've just kind of automated them whenever I need them, and we haven't actually done a whole lot with actually additions lately. Alright, so now we can order redstonia blocks. Okay, so what I'm going to want is let's see, 7 auto placers. So the auto placers, I may have to automate, yeah, I'm going to have to automate pallies as well. That's fine. But anyways, we're just going to need 7 of those. And of course, that's to place the actual wither parts, you know. So there we go. Now we have Pally's crystal blocks automated, and then I'll just throw them into here. So good stuff. Honestly, it's about time we got those automated, but I just kind of take it as I need things generally with AE, because there's so many recipes that you can add to the stuff. But anyways, our placers, we've got 6, so we really just need 1 more. Okay. So there's those. We've got our redstone torch. Then, of course, we're also going to need an interface. There's that. We'll go ahead and start working on this. So I think our actual spot that we're going to use is going to be this one, opposite the ghast. I think that would be best. So we've actually already got a mob grinder here. And I am going to... Let's see. Don't I have the cables coming up at all? No, I do not. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and go underneath this. And let me just plug up the power first up. And we'll just run our power down along this. And this will actually be the side, yeah, closest to the AE system, which is awesome. And I do think, do we have a clipboard at all? No, we don't. Okay. Clipboards are so handy. I love them. Because that way I can make notes while I'm in game. But I do believe that probably after this episode, I'm probably going to work on the farming spawners. Because I would like to have, maybe not on this floor, but maybe the next floor up, I'd like to have like cow, pig, sheep, you know, or maybe not, maybe sheep. We'd probably just do it just to have it, you know. But anyways, we have power plugged up to this now. And then, let's see. Oh, I'm going to need a vacuum chest, of course. Duh. Okay. And what we'll do is, I think our vacuum chest, we're just going to put it right here. Put it right down there. And I'm just going to go ahead and connect this up, you know, so that our conduits connect over. Of Great. And we'll just stick our vacuum chest in the center of the floor here. Range is 6. That's perfect. Okay. And then we'll just run some cabling over. Okay, that's got a little bit of cobblestone in it. We'll run some cabling over from the vacuum chest. So extract. And we'll just bring it like over to here. That's fine. Tell you what, I'm actually going to need it to go up to the ceiling. So I think what I'll do is I'll remove this for right now. And I'll make some facades for it. How many is that? 6 facades. Okay. And then we'll just bring our item conduit line then over here and bring it up like so. And for right now, while I'm working in this area, I'm going to go ahead and remove like this piece of basalt. Okay, so next up, we're going to need to actually set up the AE2 stuff. Now we do have our interface right here, so I'm going to set that like right, I'm going to set that like right here, I think. And that's going to dictate, because we're going to set the Nether Star up as a recipe. So let's get some cables. Okay, I've got plenty of string, so let me make up a bunch of wool and dye it and all that stuff. And I'm just going to run some cabling over from here. This should be, yeah, okay. I'm going to run some cabling over from here to there. So I'll be back in just a moment. Alright, I think we needed, what, 6 conduit facades, if I recall correctly? So I'm going to get those made up really, really quick. I did get all that cabling ran, and I went ahead and made a half stack of the red cables, because the red line is going to be the line that we use for our mob spawner building. So that should work just fine. And I've got that just going up into the ceiling there. It's ran with a P2P like we've covered before. So we'll go ahead and run our facades up. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. And then let's pop on up here. And I'm actually going to move this interface, because it doesn't really matter where it goes. It just needs to be connected up. So we'll set it like right here to save on cabling. And then what I want to do is let's go ahead and pop on inside. Tell you what, I'm going to close up the front of this, and I'm going to go in from the top. Just like that. I'll tell you what, I don't actually need these either. Okay. So what we're going to do is let's get our bucket and our whale. Set that right there. And then we're going to go ahead and count up, let's see, we're going to put water in this. And we'll go ahead and do like 3 high. And we'll go ahead and put this around the entire room, and then we're going to have to do the center as well. Which I'll come back through and I'll facade that. I've got to do a bunch of AE cabling facades. Like a bunch. Okay, so now we got this room all filled out with water. Halfway filled with water. So basically what we've done is we've created like a dampening room. Because any kind of explosion, if it's, you know, set off inside of water, it's going to dampen that explosion and not cause any block damage. It's the same for creepers. So that's why it's always useful if you're going to have creeper spawning to use water. I mean, depending on what you're using to actually spawn them, but so we've got something just like that. That is perfect. And so next up, what I want to do is let's just plug up our interface just like that. And then what I want to, our block placers, let's see, that would be the center of the room. And I think we'll have our block placers on this side. I think in this sort of a configuration. So we'll go ahead and put our auto placers down. We're going to have them facing in this direction. And we're going to go ahead and leave it on deactivation. Because basically what I want it to do is I want it to, anytime it has blocks to place, I want it to just go ahead and place them. Because we're going to limit one of these so that it doesn't, you know, always constantly stay filled. So we'll have our block placers there. And then let's just go ahead and hook up some item conduits. Of course, this doesn't require any kind of power or anything like that. So we'll have item conduits like that. We'll go ahead and remove these two blocks. And we'll have another item conduit line right here, but I don't actually want these two to connect. So go ahead and bring that up like this. And we're going to go ahead and use channels. We're going to say you insert on green on these ones. And then these ones down here we're going to insert on brown. That's great. And then the next thing that I want to do is and first up I want to get a couple filters. Just like that. And let's see, how much soul sand do we have? 868. I think we're doing okay on soul sand. And then let's go ahead and get ourselves like a stack of prismarine, I think. Yeah. Prismarine's fine. You can use pretty much any kind of block that's not placeable. So just keep that in mind. And then let's go ahead and also get some soul sand. Wither skeleton skulls. Okay, and I don't actually have any nether stars, so. Alright. And I guess I don't actually need that redstone torch. Well, I tell you what. I do want the redstone torch. No, I don't. I don't know what I want. Okay, I'm going to get some insulated redstone conduit, and I'm also going to snag a lever as well, because we're going to want some kind of a shut-off for this, that we can automatically shut it off. And then let's also get ourselves just some iron bars. That's fine. Alright, so let's pop back over. And our iron bars, I want those to just kind of set opposite, because I want us to be able to look, you know, from down in here, this would be where, if we're looking in our spawners, this would be where we're standing. So I want us to be able to see the block placers, but we also need them to be, you know, solid. So we're just going to run our iron bars just like that. Just like this. That's great. And then we'll go ahead. Let me actually close this up. I think we'll remove this block instead. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and just block these off entirely. Just because I can, pretty much. Because this is the Wither. It's a high danger level mob. So this is more just kind of, I'm basically just blocking this off for decoration purposes more than anything. So now that's set up, that's actually, of course, where the Wither is going to spawn. Now, our insulated redstone conduit, I'm just going to go ahead, because right now its redstone mode is deactivation. I'm just going to run this stuff up. We'll go ahead and plug in the redstone conduit there. And basically that's just for a manual shut-off switch. Because, of course, having a shut-off switch is always handy. You know, it's always suggested to at least have one. You may not use it, but, you know, you do want to have one. So, we'll just run our redstone conduit down. I'll have to go make some more, actually. But anyways, now what I want to do is let's go down here to all of these block placers. And we're going to go ahead and give all of these just a prismarine shard as a placeholder. Because they can't, you know, prismarine shards are not a block. They can't just place those down. So that's what we want to do. So now all of these have prismarine shard placeholders. Good stuff. And that's basically just so it doesn't just, whenever we hook this up, I don't want, you know, 9 stacks of wither skulls in each of them. Now, if you wanted to be even more precise and say you only wanted to keep like 1 soul sand and 1 wither skull on hand, you could also do that. Just keep that in mind if you wanted to go with the blood magic item conduits, which we haven't got into during the series. I have done a tutorial on those if you're curious about them. I did do a blood magic tutorial in the past, but you know, I'm just going to let them each have a stack. That's fine by me. But what we're going to do is let's put our chest just like right here. That's fine. Alright, now I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and actually set up the recipe. So that, oh, you know what, I don't have any other stars. Okay, that's fine. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's get, we're going to tell it that if it uses a wither skeleton skull, then it's going to get a nether star. So really, really quickly, this is, okay, this is running. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spawn a wither real quick. So we'll throw in our soul sand and then our wither skulls. And there we go. He's going to spawn. He's going to sink down into the water. And I will say that we're going to close off the top of this shortly. Okay, I tell you what, we actually need to raise this by 1 and increase the size of the water. We lost a couple block placers there, but that's okay. That is alright. That was my own personal mistake. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to have this kind of coming up into the ceiling just a little bit for the sake of, you know, having it work and everything. I didn't think about his head actually sticking up out of the water. My bad. Okay, that's a bit better. So we'll just do the same thing. We're just going to kind of raise it, you know. No big deal. And I'm going to have to change over these colors and rebuild it a little bit here, but that's okay. It happens. It happens. Because when I was testing, I was actually building the water up, you know, 4 high, but then when it came to put it into practice, I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna put it like this. So that was my bad. Which I don't mind it sticking up in the ceiling just a little bit. We'll cover that up and make it look a little bit cleaner. You know, later on, that's fine. And I've got enough redstone conduit now to finish running this. And I think what we'll do is, like with the other ones, we'll just kind of run this down to like right here, and then we'll put our lever, you know, right there. So is that, okay, that's plugging up. So if I was to do that, cool. Alright, so basically, you know, because we're going to have the AE system keep so many nether stars on hand, of course, but in the event that we want to manually say, okay, stop running for right now, we can do that. So alright, so insert on green on these. There we go. And this one, we'll say insert as well, and we'll go ahead and actually plug up that redstone conduit. So now everything's set up properly, the correct way, just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and say, we should have a nether star actually in here, right? Yes, we do. Okay, so let's go set up our recipe just really, really quick. And I know the episode's running long. I do apologize. With a build like this, I don't want to stop it like right in the middle of it, particularly because we're fairly close to being done. So we are nearly there. So we're gonna say if you send a wither skeleton skull, you're going to get a nether star. Good stuff. And then let's pop back on over here. And we'll throw in our pattern. Okay, and our nether star recipe is in the system. So good stuff. Of course, right now, if we were to order one, it wouldn't do anything. So I just wanted to make sure that the recipe was there and it was present and everything, which it is. So now what we can do is, first up, let's go ahead and we're going to say, that's not going to, okay. We're going to say go ahead and keep a stack of soul sand and a stack of wither skeleton skulls in here at all times. So very, very important. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to actually put prismarine into these. So there we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just set some item conduits down on our interface. We're going to do something like that. One of these is going to be a brown channel. We're going to say extract always active. Green is extract always active. So now let's go ahead and throw some filters in this. So we're going to say the green one can only extract wither skeleton skulls, and the brown one can only extract soul sand. Just like that. And then we'll just bring these item conduits around. I just need to plug them in right here. And we don't want it to connect up to that chest. Alright, so now, there we go. We've got a stack of soul sand in that. Wither skeleton skulls are building up. So we're going to have a stack of soul sand and a stack of wither skulls in each of these. And it's just going to stay that way. And you'll notice it's went ahead and it's auto-placed those items. And I'll tell you what, next we're going to go ahead and change this, all of these to pulse, in fact. And what I want to do is I just want to run our redstone conduit around each of these. Because I want these to place in a certain order. Because what's happening is the block placers, for some reason, are wanting to place the wither skeleton skulls down there where the soul sand goes. Like, they're kind of wonky. Of course, there are other options for block placers, so just keep that in mind. So what we're going to do is we'll just run this stuff along. And then I'm going to break off these connections here. Just like that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set up just a really, really quick little redstone thing. Basically, it's going to be just a timer right here. And we'll set this, let's see. We'll say, we'll leave it at 100 ticks, actually. That's 5 seconds, that's fine. So, then what we're going to do is just have our redstone conduit come out. I'm actually going to disconnect that. And it's going to go into a redstone repeater. And then what we'll do is this initial redstone line, we're just going to bring it down like right here. Where's my wrench? And we'll connect it up just like that. Disable that. Okay, so basically what the redstone's going to do is it's going to come around, it's going to hit the soul sand auto placers first, right there. And then what we'll do is we'll have this line come out. And let me go ahead and bring that up. And we're just going to do just like that. So then these will get a pulse. Okay, for some reason these aren't placing. I don't quite know why that is. Honestly. Let me raise this up. Okay, actually I just realized what the issue is. It's not... For some reason these don't auto-connect in. I don't understand it. I was like fighting with it. I was like, wait, why is it not? And then I'm not even connected up, so... Oh, man. Okay, so that works. It places the soul sand, and then it places the wither skeleton skull, which we'll see that more, you know, once we actually have it running, we'll see that more in effect. And so now what we need to do is... Let me actually change this over for the time being. We're going to say extract. And actually one of these is filled with bread. Just because I didn't have my prismarine shards, so I just gave it bread instead. And so then what we'll do is we'll just bring our conduit line up. Okay, never mind, there's not a conduit over there. And we'll bring it across like this. And basically I just want to plug it into this chest. So if this chest receives a wither skeleton skull, then it's going to immediately send it over to this placer, and once this gets the redstone signal, it'll throw it down. Yeah, we're going to have this be on the same pulse sequence, but thing is, if I was to send a redstone signal to this and it wasn't pulsing, it would basically just override the system, and so it wouldn't make skulls. So that'll still work with the lever, that's fine. I'll show you in a bit. So now, it should place those, if we order it, it should place them. So let's demonstrate, for example. If I was to throw a wither skeleton skull in there... Oh, I never changed this to insert. Sorry. It should. There we go. We have a wither. We have a wither. So we'll see the wither drop into the water there. And then, pa-pa. And you'll notice that... Okay, I see what the issue is. Never mind. Basically what's happening is these redstone conduits somehow have connected together. And so it's just making a circuit. It's not staying on the timer. So there we go. We should be good now. Yeah. The soul sand's getting placed first. Or the soul sand's trying to place first. And then the wither skeleton skulls. I thought I had that all sorted, but it must have not been. Okay. So now if I was to throw in, say, there's like 3 wither skulls. And we'll see what this thing does when it runs, you know, back to back like that. And we will probably put up an XP solidifier as well, just to have it, kind of a thing. Pow, there we go. Oh my gosh, it has done it again. What? Okay, actually, let me change this to... I think what's happening is it's getting caught on the wither's head. You know, it's not able to place the block. So we're going to change it to a 200 tick delay. Yeah, so we're going to have to adjust the timer. 10 seconds is still too short. So we'll go with 300 ticks. That's 15 seconds. Because what's happening is it's trying to place a wither skull or soul sand when the wither is still there, you know? So now if I was to throw in, say, 4 wither skulls, what happens? By the way, these are still sitting in the vacuum chest. We still have to plug that part of it up, but... And you will get kind of a blowback effect if you're down here. And here comes the second wither. Oh, it's working now. 15 seconds seems to be the safety point. Because normally I would do like a 10-second timer or something when I do the shoot build, like I've done in the past. But when you're dealing with this water, the wither does drop through it slower. So 15 seconds seems to be solid. And you'll notice we're not suffering any kind of damage or anything like that. So, this is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. I love it. Okay. Where did the light go? I thought I had light up here. Okay, and see, it's prepped and ready for more withers, but it's not going to spawn any, you know, until it gets that order to make another wither, basically. So that is perfect. I am happy with it. Now, one other thing that I am going to add, well, a couple other things that I'm going to add. First up, let's go ahead, and I know the vacuum chest down there probably has so much junk in it right now. Yeah, a little bit of junk here. But let's go ahead and plug this in. And basically what I want to do is I just want to bring my item conduits around because I want them to plug into the interface. And that way it'll send its items back into the AE system. So we'll do something like this. We'll say you can insert, and then we'll just bring our item conduits back. Just like that. Alright, and that's pretty much the build. Now, in addition, let me check. Do I have the vacuum chest set to extract? I can't recall. Yes, okay. So everything's out of there. So then what I'm going to do is a couple other little minor things, which I will come back through here with conduit facades, or for AE2 conduit facades. Because here in the very near future, I'm just going to go through the base and go through and facade and clean things up. Because our build itself is actually wrapping down, and then we'll focus on more detailed work and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and get an experience solidifier. That's another thing that we're definitely going to want with this build, because the wither drops a fair amount of XP, and we don't want it just kind of sitting on the bottom and despawning. So we'll do that, and then I'm going to want 2 of the diamantine blocks. And then I'm also going to want, do I have, oh, I don't have a bunch of mana glass. Okay, let me just get, like, a stack of glass. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a layer of mana glass, because you can't really tell mana glass from other, blocks. And what I'm going to do is basically I'm just going to make more or less like a safety net in the event that, something were to happen and the wither gets stuck down there, but we don't have power or something like that. Basically, I just want to ensure that he cannot fly up out of the water. All right, in our experience solidifier, I'm just going to put it in the floor, of course. So we'll stick it like right next to the vacuum chest, I should think. So right there, we'll say that you can extract always active. Everything else in here is good. And then that part of it's done. So now we're actually getting the XP that the wither's creating. And then lastly, I just want to hop over here and we're going to throw down that mana glass. Just so that we've got it. So there's what we have. Now granted, I might change this over from iron bars to mana glass, because we could do that. I'm going to give it some thought. I don't know if I want the bars and kind of the wither coming down from that, or if I want just mana glass so it's see-through. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, I mean, that's pretty much the build. So if we were to go over here and we were to order ourselves some nether stars, let me actually throw some of this stuff in here because I've got like stacks of wither skulls on me. So right now we have 8 nether stars. Let's order 2 of them. There we go. We got a wither that has spawned. And we can say that he's been summoned after ordering 1. And there we go. And there's no XP on the bottom or anything due to the experience solidifier. And there goes the second wither. So 15-second timer. Just keep that in mind. Because he does move slower through the water. And that's that. So now we have withers automated, we have soul sand automated, and life is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I'm actually very, very happy with that build. So, good stuff. So, anyways, with that, I am going to end out the episode there. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. And next episode, we'll be setting up our Ludicrite turbines with our reactor. So we'll be able to finalize that build next episode. So we're getting into the fun stuff, I think, now. So, but anyways, I hope to see you guys next time. And until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys then.